Very good. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Governor Gladys Wanga. Our chief guest for the day, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, Prime Minister, Excellency Governors and Deputy Governors who are here, the Cabinet Secretary for Health, the Honorable Aden Duale, Senators, Honorable Members of the National Assembly, representatives of the Judiciary, leaders of Homa Bay County and the Greater Nyanza Region, Excellency Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Principal Secretaries, Speakers and members of the county assemblies, all national and county government representatives, private sector, civil society representatives, development partners, international delegates, all delegates, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, let me take a few minutes, first of all, to introduce the governors who are here, who will not have an opportunity to come and say something at the podium. All Excellency Governors, please. We have the host Governor, Gladys Wanga. We have my Vice Chair, I think, who is outside. We're expecting the Prime Cabinet Secretary to be here any time. He's probably waiting to receive him. He's gone out with Gladys. And then we have our whip of the Council of Governors. Your Excellency, the Council of Governors has 3 executive committee members who run the affairs of the Secretariat together with the Secretariat. And it's the Chair, the Vice Chair, and the whip is Governor Stephen Sang of Nandi. We have Governor Muthomi Njuki, who is our Chair of the Health Committee of the Council of Governors. We have Governor Cecily Mbarire, Governor of Embu County. She chairs resource mobilization for us. We have our Chair of Agriculture, Speaker Emeritus, who is the Governor of Bungoma, Kenneth Lusaka, Excellency Kenneth Lusaka. We also have Governor of Siaya County, James Orengo, Excellency James Orengo. We have the Governor of Kisumu County, who chairs for us the Committee on Lands, Housing, Urban Development, Excellency Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. And Your Excellency, there are many Deputy Governors also in attendance. But okay, we have other governors there. Governor Irungu Kangata of Muranga, Governor Simon Kachapin of West Pokot, Governor Dr. Wilbur Otichilo of Vihiga County, and Governor Professor Hilary Barchok of Bomet County. Thank you very much. Excellency, Right Honorable, there were other governors here, but some of them had to attend to other matters. The others? Your Excellency, I was only looking at this side. On that other side, we have Governor Julius Malombe, Governor of Kitui County. He's a returnee governor like me. There are 8 of us who served in the first cohort and were out and were re-elected. Your Excellency, I had a written speech here, but because we're all saying the same thing, I decided today I'll not read it. I'll just talk off the cuff, because the speech that people are waiting for is your speech. But I'll just say a few things, and I hope by the time I finish, the Right Honorable the Prime Cabinet Secretary will be here so that he can speak before you. You are our chief guest for today. So we're also trying to avoid any protocol hitches. Your Excellency, may I take this opportunity to welcome you officially to DEFCON 2025. I want to say that in Kenya, there are different sets of truths. It appears that everyone makes their own set of truths. But there are three sets of truths that we all seem to agree on here. And you've heard that from the speakers who were here before me as well. Truth number one is that devolution has worked for Kenya. It has delivered. It has done its bit to equalize this country. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, we are not all students of history. No one in this room understands probably better than you. No one understands better than you in this room. Maybe the only other person who I would say has a lot of institutional memory and knowledge on our political history here is Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. No one understands better than you the history of Kenya, the first administration that we had, the system of Majimbo, how the Senate was killed, how they were made to serve the remaining bit of their term in the National Assembly then, and how a seat was created for each senator in their rural district, and with it ended devolution. With it ended Majimbo. Your Excellency, no one understands better than you the struggle for the second liberation, the various drafts that we had, the Yash Balgai team, the Bomas draft, and what then became the final consensus position of forming 47 governments based on the 1992 district boundaries. Devolution was your fight. It remains your fight, Your Excellency. I'll just speak to a few of the issues that we keep raising. Your Excellency, as Chair of Council, who is serving his second term, I have appreciated that, yes, devolution has been accepted. Yes, it has been given some resources. Yes, it's doing a lot of good work. But the centralist mindset in the national bureaucracy still regards devolution as a spoiler of things. It's still the scapegoat. It attracts more flack, more blame than resources. We still quarrel about the quantum of resources. And Gladys had mentioned that this year, as part of the MOU that you had with His Excellency the President, you had yourself suggested 450. We probably got the highest increase in a long time at about 30 billion, but we're still at 415. We're still struggling with issues to do with timely releases and timely disbursements. And what this does, Your Excellency, is that we end up in a situation where a nurse at Kenyatta National Hospital receives her salary at the end of the month, but in some counties, they have to wait for 3 months because not all counties have arrangements with commercial banks. We still contend with the question of respecting the functional integrity of the county governments, the question of clawbacks of functions that have been devolved, and the question of resources following functions. There's still a lot of duplication. There are things that ought to be done by the counties, which are still being financed through national government ministries, departments, and agencies. Your Excellency, counties have to still contend, and this is a matter that needs to be looked into, with a duplicity of oversight. Our understanding as governors was that the first level of oversight for the county governments was the county assemblies, and that governors will then be called to the Senate not as the first level of oversight, but to clarify certain things, probably audit reports, annual audit reports. And in fact, having served in the first cohort of governors, we only used to get invitations from the Peak Park Committee then. But now it's become customary that governors have to be called by departmental committees of the Senate. Your Excellency, whilst to date, not a single MCA, not a single member of parliament has had to be recalled. We have had at least 4 governors impeached, and I think there have been as many as 7 or 8 attempts. I had it on my phone, I can't remember offhand. How many? Mary? 8 attempted impeachments, many of whom were salvaged at Senate. The question then begs, Your Excellency, is it only governors? Are Kenyans only electing the wrong governors? Is it only governors that are so bad that they have to be impeached and can't finish their term? Of course, we have one instance of a deputy president that has been impeached. And up to date, I don't think we have a clear impeachment law for governors that sets the threshold. We're still relying on the constitutional provisions and the question of the County Governments Act. Your Excellency, the weaponization of the fight against corruption is another matter that we have to address openly. If you look at the annual budget, it's 10 to 13% of the annual budget that gets devolved, which means 87 to 90% of the budget is still sitting at the center. But this week, Your Excellency, the national media had headlines about corruption in counties, trying to take the thunder out of the devolution conference. It's as if the only thing the counties do is corruption. It is not the case. May I also take this opportunity to welcome the Prime Cabinet Secretary. You're most welcome, the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Karibu. I was buying a little bit of time so that you can come in. Thank you. So, Your Excellency, I'll move much faster. So I was talking about corruption. Yesterday, His Excellency the President, I think, in a very open and clear manner, spoke to the question of what I call non-executive corruption. Corruption in other arms of government. Your Excellency, as a Council of Governors, we feel that the fight against corruption has unfairly targeted governors, and it has been a case of calling devolution a bad name, so that along the way, there's a reason to kill it. That's not to say there's no corruption in counties. We have admitted as Kenyans that corruption pervades every aspect of our life. All we're saying is, let's fight all corruption. Your Excellency, I'm reminded that a lot of the governors who left office are in dire straits economically. Would actually want to be told how many of the choppers at Wilson belong to governors or former governors. Some of our colleagues who left office cannot afford to buy fuel. Yesterday, we heard how there is an impending law to give pension to MCAs. MPs have pension. Why can't governors have pension? Why do we want to pride as a nation that our governors, some of whom have served 2 terms, don't even have, in fact, had it not been for SHA, probably, medical cover? Your Excellency, my colleague from Garissa usually says being a governor is like working in a landmine. You have to buy your peace at every level. I don't think that is what devolution was meant to be, Your Excellency. And I'm saying these things because, coming back to the truths, the second truth is that you are the father of devolution. And I feel comfortable saying these things in your presence because I know you can address them and address all of us effectively on them. And the last truth, Your Excellency, before I call the Prime Cabinet Prime Cabinet Secretary rather, is that you remain the underwriter of political stability in Kenya. Your detractors will say all manner of things. The fact of the matter is that we almost lost this country as a result of the Gen Z protests and demonstrations, which turned into riots. You were magnanimous enough to allow members of your party to join government as ministers so that Kenya can be stable. Your Excellency, without Kenya being stable, a lot of these counties will be no more because the architecture of our financial system here is that we depend largely on equitable share to provide services. So I want to ask you to continue being the father of devolution, the underwriter of devolution, and the stabilizer of the politics of Kenya. I thank you. And with that, Your Excellency, may I invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary to make his remarks before we invite you as our chief guest for today. That's how it has